Good morning, all. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Uh, I thank Vishaka ma'am have to have called me for this particular event, the national conference. I heard from Rath sir that Cyber is doing fantastic national conferences. I think three of them per year and two international, one international. And I am proud to note that a lot of international speakers are available here. The points that I was asked to talk about was business, technology, and environment. Obviously, on environment, you people have a good faculty and you people have been learning a lot. I should be learning from you on that. But just to brief about what we have been doing in our business. We being a part of Foundry, which is there for last 3 or 4 decades, that it's a family-run business. When we talk of environment, it should come from the passion within, wherein my dad, the chairman of the group, since the beginning, we have all been talking of planting trees, uh, disposal of sand to near zero. But then it is really tough on the point of view in terms of the environment sustainability of how to reduce the disposal, how to manage the carbon credits, how to manage the carbon neutrality. I was talking to one of the friend in CII the other day, and he had helped a particular foundry in Brex India for having reducing the fossil fuel utilization for manufacturing castings, and was happy to note that one of the companies, Volvo, which we have been supplying, has also been having a different vertical wherein they are talking of sourcing castings from near net zero, in the sense the utilization of fossil fuel should be near zero. So they call it as a carbon neutral product. The other day, Caterpillar, my main customer, was also asking me about how you people are working towards as a business and your inputs of how are you going to manage the environment, how are you going to manage the CSR, how are you going to manage the disposal of sand, or so many issues that are coming up in the business. Obviously, when I started business 30, 35 years back, we were into small castings and small business. But once we started growing, the customer demands went on from domestic to exports. And in domestic area, obviously we are standing within number 2, number 3 in all over India. And for the exports, we have been selected as a strategic supplier. And what does that really mean? As the capacity utilization, as the quality that is concerned, on-time delivery, yes. But then they are looking at a lot of things. We got in 20 years back when we had an audit from Volvo, and we never knew about what is happening outside and why are they giving marks for a windmill that we had sourced, for a solar park that we have put in. So they had to give me 5, 10 marks, and then we started off understanding what exactly the role of the Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Convention, the, the, the degree that is growing, the temperature of earth that is growing. So these customers helped us to understand and implement certain ideas which was earlier unknown to us. So apart from doing castings, the first thing that we had to do is improve business, improve sustainability, improve disposal of unwanted things, oil or whatever we dispose on a daily basis, paint. So when we started off with ISO, it was tough on us. But then when we went for 14,000 and then 18,000, so that's where our ISO team could help us understand and improve upon the air consumption, the energy consumption. So the learning went on. So business hand in hand with environment and the technology per se, which we adopted early, then the customer told us. Actually, the customer helped us get a leadership award, which they handed over to me because the way they were talking and the way we were implementing, the implementing pace was really fast. So the adaptability towards environment, the adaptability towards technology was a need of the hour. So when customers talked about product neutrality, they also asked us out how are you going to plan for the sand consumption. The major part of the natural resource that we consume is sand. So there are a lot of new technologies available. We did try it out, and we brought a new concept called as a vacuum molding line, wherein the sand can be reused without recycling. So recycling is also at a cost, and it is about secondary attrition and about thermal reclamation. So that also adds to cost and adds to the burning of fuel. But vacuum molding in the first place, which was invented or discovered by the Japanese and the German, which they utilized in their part of the world. But here, power shortage was there. We could not adapt it faster. The power cut was a major issue. If the while utilizing, if power is a shortage, the molds used to collapse. So we have to run it on generators. So obviously, again, that balancing was not happening. So what we were trying to do is adapt technology. But once we adapt technology from outside, we have to make fine tuning and cultural changes towards that. So that was tough. So it took 5 years to understand the technology, and we made that machine in house. That is the proud part of it. If at all we had to buy it, it was running in crores. We tried to visit China, Germany, America. I personally went there. We saw how it is being utilized. And see, now this is a timeline where we could not make it a possibility in a short run. So now, if at all we have to be on our toes, we have to be always looking out for new technology, always looking out for asking the customer to adapt it. There was a resistance from the customer. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The OEMs could not digest it. The others could. So, hand in hand, the adaptability of new technology for environment was a tough part. So, apart from this, as a new technology for recycling of sand was adopted. Other than this, the chairman took initiative on his own for solar and windmill installations. That was a new thing happening, and we could get a lot of benefits out of that earlier from the government. But now that is near to zero. There are no much subsidies available. But the solar thing that we have put in, suppose I am consuming 3 to 4 megawatt of power. I have already put in 3 to 4 megawatt of solar and windmill as a greener energy. This is to set off and to have a carbon footprint, wherein the clean development mechanism that goes with it, the power that we get from the net, the government, MSCB, the distribution network are still not as per the industrialists' requirements, and we are still struggling towards that. A lot of new formulations of policies are being done. The CI is helping us do that. The local associations are helping us do that. So when we talk of global warming, this particular thing was being discussed on um, Godrej, which was implementing a lot of new ideas. So when we talk of the solar and windmill, we were at par and we could help it out. And the MSCB, in the terms of distribution network, was having issues on the infrastructure that they had. Still there is issues, but then government is helping on that. So obviously when we talk of the business which we were growing at a very fast pace and trying to meet the customers' demand for domestic and international, now that we stand on 1000 to 2000 tons of castings per month in steel castings, obviously that is a very big and a very good figure for steel castings. For cast iron, obviously, yes, they have been doing 5,000, 3,000, or 7,000 tons per month. For steel castings, per se, the yield or the energy consumption that goes with it is a major issue. So we are doing a lot of things in our house, in-house, where we are trying to build energy utilization. We are trying to build a lot of metal handling systems. We are trying to build a lot of training for human manpower to reduce wastage, how to reduce consumption of compressor gas, how to utilize all these kind of things for the benefit of global warming. So what was being discussed was pre-industrial era wherein the point 0.08 degrees centigrade was what was there earlier prior to 1850s. But later on, when it came to 1908, when the industrialization started, the figure shot up to 1.12 degrees. So the global warming was happening, and now they are discussing to put it a cap of before 1.5 degrees, so that the major vulnerability or the major thing that is happening to the Mother Earth should be stopped. So a lot of things are being discussed, learned, and we are trying to implement that in our business. So this is what I wanted to share with you. The new students that are coming out of colleges, they are much aware of environmental things and sustainability things. Earlier, the knowledge was not so openly enough for the staff or the discussion at the local area. So I would rather thank Arat sir and the staff of CyBER for having conducting such national symposiums, and you have been kind enough to have a dialogue with the industries, the industry academia connect, which we have all been trying to collaborate and discuss, and you people have been talking to all of the colleges or the universities across the world. So such things in this era where internet and video conferencing is happening at a faster growth, I think we should be able to have best sharing practices. We should be able to discuss it out with the industries. Obviously, when you talk to an industry to ask him to come here for half an hour or 1 hour, they are going to take out 4 hours. So it's better that we have a video conference where your students can take it up as a project. And we are looking forward for most of the colleges who can come and help us, because just to think over a particular idea, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time and energy. Now, if I personally have to understand from symposiums or lectures or lot of opening things that are happening, we are not able to digest that and take it back and implement it with our staff. And once we train our staff, then only certain things are going to happen. So I would rather seek your time and your participation towards such kind of projects. So I would not take much of your time. I wanted to just brief you about how my business grew, how I'm utilizing learning that I have been doing from the environment forefront, and how are we trying to reduce the energy consumption or the fossil fuel, or you know whatever things we have been learning to reduce the global warming. So I would like to thank you again. Thank you.